Okay guys, if you can look up, we'll continue then. Alright, so this lesson now, a bit easier than the previous lesson. What we're going to look at is how to solve and draw cubics. So there's not a lot to show you. We'll practice with some examples. Before we start, the shape of a cubic. So if we have y equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, if the a is positive, we get this shape. And if the a is negative, down, up, down, we get this shape. So let's look at drawing an actual example. Sketch this. Y equals 9x cubed plus 10x squared minus 43x plus 24. Maybe I should just move the projector a little bit here. Better. Okay, so the first thing is how many points do we need? So if we found out where it crossed the x and y axis, that's good enough. We're looking at this type of graph because it's a positive a. Okay, so let's find the easiest one first, where it crosses the y axis. So when x is 0, what will y equal from here? 4. Yes. So the first point we have is 0, 24. So that's fine. But then the second one is this case, when y equals 0, which is the roots. So we need to solve this. Equals 0. Now this is a bit of a problem to solve. So it means we have to factorize this. And this is also a bit of a problem, because when we factorized last time, I gave you one of the factors, and then we used long division to get the other factors, right? And I don't give you one of the factors here, so sadly the only way to continue is you need to first guess a root, and then once you find it, this gives you a factor. And then once you have that factor, you can divide it in to get the two other factors. Now, this isn't as bad as it might seem, because in the exam, they'll always make sure that you never have to go past -3 or 3 to get the first one by guessing. So straight away I see 0 won't work, because if I put in 0, I have 24, and I'm trying to make a 0 here. I put in 1. Let's see what happens if I put in 1. So I have 9 plus 10 is 19. 19 plus 24. So 19 and 24. Is that 43? Is it going to work for 1? Let's check on our calculators. 9 plus 10 minus 43 plus 24. Yeah, 0. So if we try x equals 1, it works. That means it's a root. So the factor is x minus 1. We can take that and divide it in now to get the other factors. So let's divide in x minus 1. 9x cubed plus 10x squared minus 43x plus 24. So first, 9x squared. 9x cubed minus 9x squared, left with 19x squared. Next is 19x. So now I have 19x squared minus 19x I subtract, and what am I left with here? No, something went wrong here, I feel. No, minus 24x plus 24. So finally is minus 24, and I have minus 24x plus 24. Remainder is 0. So, can I factorize this and get the other two factors? I don't know. Let's do a quick check. Discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. This looks good. Okay, so does this have solutions? Yeah, that's 2. Let's try to factorize it. 9x minus 8 and x plus 3 are the two factors here. So now that we have our 3 factors, we have our 3 roots. If I just go over here to sketch it, the first root is 1. The second root is 8 over 9. And the third root is minus 3. And the y-intercept is 24. And the graph is up, down, and up. Ah, nearly. Close enough. There we go. So this is what the graph looks like. Let's check. 9x cubed plus 10x squared minus 43x plus 24. You can't quite see that it's dipping underneath a little bit here, unless I stretch it a bit more. Yeah, you can just about see 1 and 8 over 9. So the graph is correct then. That's no problem there. Okay, so this is again pretty common for the exam. I'll give you one to try, and then I'll do it. Okay, so this is our first example. This cubic had 3 roots. Will it always have 3 roots? No, because it could have 2 roots like this, 1 root and the second root, and also it could just have 1 root. Is it possible for it to have no roots? No. Impossible. Impossible to have no roots, because one tail is always going up and the other tail is always going down. One of them must cross the x-axis. Yeah. Jerry, could you just wake Bruce up there? He's looking a bit sleepy. Awake? Okay. Can I give you one to try? Yes? Let me give you this one. Try to draw this one, and I want you to... Yeah, okay. I want you to show the x and the y intercepts, the roots and the y intercepts. So try to draw this one. We have graphs. Jerry, no Ren in class. Ren. QQ? No? You don't know these websites? Huh? You were using your phone. Okay. Are you finished? Yeah. Okay, show me your graph. Let's see. Show me. Let me see. Don't be shy. Which one? That one at the bottom. Let me see what you drew. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Well, you do have a number. Please write X and Y. Good. Did you draw? Oh, good. Okay. Nearly. Right. Do we have graphs for this one? Yeah. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. We have different graphs. Sean? Same as him? Interesting, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, you know one of them is 0. Yeah. 7 over 9, yeah. 7 over 4, okay. Is there a third though? Maybe there isn't one. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So, this one here is actually nicer than the previous one because it's easy to get one of the factors already. What is the easiest factor to get here first?
0.
No, that's the root. The factor x. Okay, can we all look up? Yeah, we're looking through this now. So the first root is 0. The factor is x. You don't even need to do any special long division. You can just take the x out, factor it out. So we have 16x squared plus 56x plus 49. And this can be factorized as 4x plus 7. Yeah, 4x plus 7. Or in other words, yeah, 4x plus 7 squared. So what's happened here is 2 of the roots are the same. So it doesn't have 3 roots, it only has 2. One of them at 0, and the other one at minus 7 over 4. So how do we draw it? Well, if we draw it like this, this is wrong, because we have 3 roots in that picture. So how could we draw it? Well, let's have a look. We actually have 2 ways to draw this. We could draw it like this. Why not? It's the right shape, goes up, down and up. Yeah? Or we could draw it like this. You know, we have quite a few choices here we can make on how to draw this. And in fact, I think there might even be another way as well. Did anyone come up with any other ways to draw it? At the beginning? Describe it to me. I start here? Start here? Yeah? Yeah, and then? Root here? I don't know about that. The opposite of the blue one? No. No, because we know at least the shape must go up, down, up, because this is a positive. Oh, flip it around. Show me. Draw it for me. I can't picture this. Did anyone think of any other ways to draw it? I have at least two I can see, but I kind of remember that there might be a third way to draw this. Oh wait, I see it now. We could go up. No, I don't, sorry. Let's see. No, not that one. Yes, yeah. Okay, anyway, I can only think of two ways to draw it. So the question now is, which one do we choose? The red one or the blue one? And how can we know? How can we know? You take out a coin and you lick it. Any ideas? Come on, somebody must have an idea. How can we decide which one to choose, the red one or the blue one? Definitely not that. It has to be one of them.
The red one?
Yeah, but how can we know which one to choose? We haven't done that yet, so it has to be another way without using the maximum, which we will have later. Not -1 though, because I think -1 would be around about here, wouldn't it? So if you put in -1, and if you get a positive answer, it means the graph is up here, and a negative answer means it's down here. Okay, so let's put in -1 and see what we get. -16 plus 56 minus 49 is a negative.
Right.
So it's probably going to be the red one here. Yeah. Well, let's check. Wait, you see another possibility? It's very exciting. Yes. Should we wait for you, Sean? Okay, well, let me put it into the program and see what graph we get. What have I got here? 16x cubed plus 56x squared plus 49x. So, will it be the right graph, or could it actually be something else we haven't considered? And I'll just, I need to zoom out a bit. Yeah, which is the red one that I had here. Yeah, so we were right to choose the red one here. Okay, so in the exam, if they ask you to sketch it, they still want to see where it crosses the x and the y axis. Okay, so you also get, guys, just listen, for the exam, the way the marks work is there's usually one mark for the shape. So for example, in this question, if I drew the graph like this, but instead it should have been, sorry, not that way. If I drew the graph like this, when it should have been, well, the red one here. I got 1 mark for having the right shape. Okay, and then usually you get 1 mark for having the right roots, and then 1 mark for having the right intercept on the y-axis. So it's 1 mark for shape, 1 for the x, 1 for the y. Yeah. These are pretty common in the exam. Pretty common. And sometimes they give you one of the factors, and sometimes they don't. If they don't give you one of the factors, you need to guess. But you only need to guess numbers between these two. Okay. Okay, I'll give you some of these to try now for a few minutes. Just before we do, just one last thing with this one here. Okay. Let me just change this question a tiny bit. 16x cubed plus 56x squared plus 49x less than 0. So sometimes in the exam they might ask you to part A, make a graph, and then part B, answer this question. So once you have the graph, the answer is not too hard to see. When is this graph below 0? Here is below 0. And then here is when it's above 0. So if I said, when is this below 0? What would you say the answer is for x? When x is... Yeah? Smaller than 0. In other words, everything to the left here. Okay? If instead I said something like, when is this a positive? In this case, it's here on the graph. X is greater than 0. If we just go back to the previous example, where was it? Here. If I said, when is it a positive? What answer would you have here? From here to here. So that is when x is bigger than minus 3 but smaller than 8 over 9. Or, what's the second answer? Greater than 1. And if my question instead was, when is the cubic below 0? X is between 8 over 9 and 1, because that's this part here. And we can also have x is less than minus 3, is also below 0. Now don't worry, we'll talk about that more in a separate lesson, but I just wanted to give you the idea today. Okay, so let me give you some to try. One S T or and 2B. You value your good health, don't you? You like being healthy, yeah? Your arms, you like your arms? Never mind. About this one? 4?
I don't think the point matter.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't include minus 7 over 4 as well, because that's, yeah, that is when it's 0. Yeah, yeah. So I should also say x is not equal minus 7 over 4. Very good, that's right. Because it's 0. Huh? It's on the x-axis, yeah, yeah. If I want less than 0, I need to say this, yeah. But if I said this, then it's okay. But I didn't, so. Leave the fan on, Victoria? It's a bit hot under the projector, yeah? Heat is pouring down on you. We'll put the fan on. I guess that's not charging anymore. Good, isn't it? No. It's good. Ah, come on. Better?
Yeah.
Do you like live in Starbucks or something? That's like your second ice drink today.
That's my third ice.
Oh, third one, okay. This Irish weather is too hot for me. Yeah,
I thought I would say this coming through.
huh?
I thought Ireland's really cold and everything. You know, it's hot.
You have too many layers on, I think.
Just one.
Really?
Just one.
I think it's because you're under the projector. I think if you sit somewhere else next time, it'll probably be better for you.
I know. Then I cannot read.
John? You're using English down the back there? It's sounding a bit Chinesey down the back. Could you stick to English, please? Thank you. Finish, Jerry? Of course it's possible. I only gave you 4 questions.
But I will finish one.
Oh, right, okay.
Corrected calculator during the exam?
You can, yeah.
The graph.
You can, yeah. Yeah.
So I can put equation of the corrected calculator and see the graph and then.
That's possible. Yeah.
Okay with that.
It is. Now, do you have a graphing calculator? So if you already have one, you know, you can use it in the exam. I mean, I wouldn't recommend people buy it just for that one purpose, but if you already have one, then yeah, you can use it in the exam. There's no problem with that. No. It's a permitted calculator. It's just most people don't have one. But it's only really useful for the graph question, because everything else you can still use the Casio calculator. Because you saw that. That's fine. Because you saw that the Casio calculator I have can also solve quadratics, can solve linear systems, just like the graphing calculator. let's see how we're all doing. Which? Factorize. So what you could do is you could use the formula. Get the two answers and then go back to this. And what were your answers? What's that? 1728. So that's not the answer. That's just the delta. Yeah. Fisher? Which one are you on now here? The previous one. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, which one are you working on?
5B.
For the previous one?
Yeah.
Okay. You're working on the previous one, okay. You're working on the graphs then. You got two here. Good, okay. And you're working on the graphs? And you're on that one, okay, good. And you're working on graphs. Good. First one? Oh, good, okay. And you're working on this one, okay? And you're working on the graphs there. Yeah. Oh no, not like this. Wait, hang on. Are these all? Oh no. This is too much work. Which one are you trying? This one? So you just try x equals 1, x equals 2, x equals 3. And then if it works, if you get 0, then you do this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but you have to keep, like, okay, if we go here, this no good, right? This no good, this no good. So, you don't have to do the log division, you just have to do this. Watch. Like, for example, 1. So 1 doesn't work. Maybe -1 works. No, maybe -2. You see what I'm doing? No, maybe -3. Okay, maybe 3. Oh no! Tell me it's going to be the last one. Typical. Right, so x equals 2. The remainder is 0. That means it's a root. That means x minus 2 is a factor. So you divide this one, not these. Yeah? Which one are you working on, Sarah? Solving sketch 2 one, okay? And here, which are you working on? Okay, and here's your log. Well, which one are you trying? Okay. Yes. Oh, factorize this. What's that? 14. 20. Oh, wow. You can use this. You can use that here. Yeah. Guess until you get 0. And you are working on the graphs as well, yeah? And Sean, what do you do? Graphs. That's later. Later, not today. We'll do that in maybe 5 minutes. Oh, I know, it's very helpful. Yes? Very useful. Not to say so.